friends, welcome back to my channel. So if you've been active on social media and have been seeing my stories and my Instagram posts and reels, or if you've been on TikTok and seen my videos too, you probably already know that I've been trying to recreate Blake Lively's Met Gala dress for some time now. So around a month ago, I posted on my story asking everyone what dress they'd like to see me try to recreate, and everyone picked the hardest one, which was Blake Lively's Met Gala dress. So in this video, you're going to be seeing how I got this end result. So if you're interested, keep watching, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn your post notification bell button so you're notified every time I post. I'll also be trying to post more stuff like thrift hauls and more lifestyle and like vlog stuff, so stay tuned for that, and let's get started. The first place I went to was a fabric store to find some nude color fabric for the base dress that she's wearing in this picture, and I also picked up some matching thread, some fabric chalk, and a bra to help with the support and also give off the neckline that she's wearing. Usually people would make like the bra from scratch, but I'm a beginner, so I thought I'd use the bra for some extra help. The next stop we made was Walmart just to find some embellishments to go on top of the base dress, so I found some metallic scotch tape and also found some silver ribbon to use as well. I also found this gorgeous teal fabric. I'm pretty sure it's a bed sheet, but it works perfectly, and I found it at a thrift store for a great price. So here I'm just cutting off the straps of the bra and making it pointier since the bust on the dress on Blake Lively is a little bit more pointed. Then I'm just taking the bra and pinning it to the fabric to make sure it's secured before I sew it together. I also made a little cut in the middle so I could fold the fabric over the bra very nicely. I also realized that the embellishments will be really heavy just by itself on the fabric, like it would probably make it droop a bit. So I realized I needed something to keep it up and add some structure to the dress. And then I remembered that I bought this black corset for a Halloween costume last year, and it was a size too big, so I used that, took off the little ribbons and stuff that were on it, and took out the hooks in the front, and then took it in like a little bit just to make it fit my body a bit better, and then attached that to the base dress. So this is what it looks like with the corset and bra together with the fabric. The next step was to trim the end of the dress to my height, and I also figured out measurements and everything else, so I just cut it accordingly and left some room to sew and fold the bottom of the dress. Or sorry, fold and sew the bottom of the dress. So this is what the dress looks like so far. It's bunching up a little bit, but I wasn't sure what to do about it, so I just left it for later. I also picked up some grommets from the store and spray painted them silver to match the metallic color scheme of the dress, which wasn't really necessary as I used a bunch of mismatched colors of the grommets anyways, so that wasn't really necessary, but I did it anyways. So also, I know that the original dress didn't really have anything tie up in the back. Also, I couldn't find a lot of pictures of the back of the dress anyways, and I just thought it'd be better if I did it, like if I made it lace up or like tie up in the back, just so it could be a little bit easier to put on and a bit more adjustable. So here, me and my dad are just trying to figure out how to get the grommets in. At first, I thought you needed some type of tool to punch the perfect hole, but apparently you don't. You just poke a hole and then do like attach the grommet. So that took us a couple of hours to figure out, but we finally figured it out, and I also got some teal ribbon and just put it through the little grommets we made. The next thing I did is I set up the projector, picked a image of the dress and just projected it on the wall, and also had a piece of paper taped to the wall just so I can trace the little patterns on the dress to this piece of paper, which in hindsight wasn't that smart because I should have just traced this pattern onto the dress itself, but I was really scared to draw on the dress, so I didn't do that. Also over here, I'm just cutting up some tinfoil into the shape of like what's on the dress, like what's on the patterns. So I did that, and then I painted them a little bit later, like a copper color. I also took a bunch of fabric, like sequin fabric from like old dresses, and just cut them into strips so that I could put it on the dress as embellishments as well. So putting on these embellishments on the dress took the longest time. I think it took me around 3 days to do. It was very hard and very repetitive. One thing I noticed is that the pattern is very symmetrical, so whatever's on the left side is also on the right side. A trick I used to make sure that I got the pattern right was that I took a picture of one side of the dress that I finished, flipped it on my phone, and then just copied that for the other side, since that was probably the easiest way to do it since the pattern is perfectly symmetrical. So that was a really cool trick I figured out. So definitely try that if you're doing something similar where the pattern is like symmetrical. That's like honestly a lifesaver. Over here, I'm just measuring the waist of the mannequin and double checking to make sure it's close to my own measurements as well, and then cutting out the teal fabric for the sash. Once we cut out the sash piece, we also folded the edges and sewed it down so it doesn't fray, and then we started making the pleats. During this process, though, we ran into some problems with bunching, but I got some help from my followers, and we were able to fix the pleats by hand sewing vertically instead of horizontally. So thank you so much for helping me out. If you commented or replied to anything, I'm so grateful and thankful, and it really, really helped make this process much easier. So thank you so much. If you gave me any tips or tricks, I really appreciate it. So the next trip we made was a fabric store where I was on the hunt for some fabric for the copper colored train. I realized that on her dress they actually used a pink colored fabric and then put something on top of that fabric to make it copper like. So after realizing that, I found the perfect fabric to go for the train, and it was also 50% off. And the ladies at the fabric store were so sweet, and they were so interested in what I was making since I was buying a lot of fabric. So they were so sweet. I can't wait to see them again. I also made a pit stop at Michael's and bought some tools for the earrings I wanted to make. And I also picked up some fabric dye and fabric paint. For the earrings, I wanted to follow the general shape and not really spend too much time on them, as the main focus that I want to focus on is the dress. So what I did here is I took some polymer clay that I had, formed them into diamond shapes using the rhinestones as a guide, and then combined the 3 polymer clay pieces together with this wire that had a loop at the end, and then did that for the other earring too. Put them in a tray lined with tin foil, took off the rhinestones but kept the little metal wire with the hook in, and then baked it at 265 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. When they were done baking, I just left them out to dry until they were cool, and then I hot glued the rhinestones to the clay and then attached the top of the earrings to the small hole at the end of the wire. After making the earrings, I decided to start painting the sash to achieve that shimmery copper detail, but unfortunately, it did not come out the way I wanted it to come out, so I went to Michael's instead, and I found some copper leaf or copper foil, whatever you want to call it. It was really expensive though, so if you're looking for copper leaf, I found one on Amazon at a much better price, so definitely check that one out. I'll leave it in the description. I used copper leaf on both the teal and pink sash, as well as both the pink and teal trains. My dad also helped out by pleating the train while I worked on the other parts of the dress, and this is what it looks like. I also bought rose gold / copper metallic paint as well as champagne color paint, since a follower recommended these paints to me after I asked everyone for advice on how to achieve a copper color for the fabric on my story. The next part I started on was the gloves, so I went to Party City and I bought 2 nylon white gloves, and I also picked up some dye from the Michaels next door. Also for the pink gloves, they were a different shade of pink. They weren't bright pink. They were kind of a muted neutral mauve pink. I don't really know how to describe that color, but to get that specific color, you can't just use pink. You have to use pink and I think orange. They had a whole selection on their website, so I went there. I figured out how much of what I need, and then figured out, okay, I need pink and I need orange dye. And then for the teal gloves, you just need teal dye. You don't need to mix it or anything. I just followed their instructions and it was really, really easy. I also added copper leaf to the tops of the gloves at the end just to make it a little bit more similar to what she's wearing in the picture. I added constellations to the bottom of the teal train and then spent the next couple of hours with my dad trying to figure out how to transition the dress into the other color properly. And then we decided that having the teal train inside the copper bow like Blake had at the Met Gala would make the most sense. And then we also added buttons at the back to hold the 2 trains together, made the copper train removable by adding a belt that's held together with Velcro, and then safety pinned everything else that we need to remove. And here is the final reveal. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Everybody's gonna have crazy violence at an all-time high. Do we have the energy to bring the future back to life? I see a world of fear, a place where we could be free, but
so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you would like to see next. So leave it in the comments below. I'll also link as much as I can in the description as well. And yeah, don't forget to follow my socials. Here's my Instagram, here's my TikTok, and I will see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, turn your post notifications, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.